Hey guys, and welcome back to the dashboard series. So where we got to in the last video is we've completed our layout, so we have our dashboard looking like we want it to look at, and now in this video we're going to start putting functionality into it to make it essentially a live dashboard. So we'll go ahead and do that now. What we'll actually do first is in this video we'll get these done. So we get the three little containers, so when we select these check boxes it'll feed into these little containers. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll just put a little comment here. So create the callback. So that's essentially what we're going to call our functions here. And as I mentioned, it was probably in the not the intro video, the first actual coding sort of video, where I said your dash app will probably be split into two parts. So we've finished the first part for this particular app, which is the layout here. And now we're moving on to the second part, which is creating the functionality. And we got to start off here. So we got to start off here with a decorator. And if you don't know too much about decorators, it's probably okay. I'd encourage you to go and do a bit of research about them. But the way you can sort of think of it in terms of how we're going to use them in this dashboard is that each function is going to have this app.callback on top of it essentially, which is going to have, so the function will be below here and every single one of them will have it, and we'll explain it more as we move through it. So what we do is we start off with this decorator, so app.callback, and we have output, and the output was imported up here. So we had from dash.dependencies import input and output. So we're going to use this input and output now. And we've got an output there, and we're going to have premium text. And the reason we do that is because if we go back up here, this is why we had a lot of these IDs, not all of them, but a lot of the IDs that you saw through the code. This is why we have them, because the ID is going to point us to premium text. And if we go back over here, that was for this container. And so what it's going to do is when we're putting it in output here, it knows that it's going to output the function result. We'll write the function in a minute, but it's going to return the function result to the correct container because it's linked by these IDs through the output function here. And what we do here is we just write children. And we move down here, and then so we have an output, we'll also need an input. And the input is going to be summary years and the value from the summary years. So if we go back up, here's another ID here under the DCC checklist. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but it's under the DCC checklist. And we have ID here as summary years, and that's obviously pointing us to this checklist here. And so that's why we selected this down here, this summary years, as our input, because we're going to take those values and we're going to feed it into our function and output the result of that specific function to the container that I mentioned just before. So it'll be a bit clearer once we actually start doing a couple of these. So here under our decorator we go def. So we're creating a function, obviously. We're going to call it update premium text, and it takes in summary years, which is just this input that I just mentioned. And we're just going to have a variable here. We're going to call it result. We're just going to wrap it in a round function just so we round the figure so it doesn't go to a ridiculous amount of decimal places. And then we're going to have our data frame, and then our data frame, so our inception year column, and then we got is in summary years, so they're going to be the years that you obviously feed into your function here. And then we want written premium. So this bit here, if you're not too familiar with that syntax there, that's effectively filtering your data frames so that your data frame's a condensed version, or it's at least it's either the same size or smaller depending on what summary years we've selected on our dashboard. And then once we've got the same size data frame or smaller, if we haven't selected all the years, we take the written premium, and we just want the sum of the written premium because that's what we're going to output there. A comma, we put a 2 in here because we got the round function that's wrapping the rest of this, so we'll round it to 2 decimal places. And then what we'll return is we'll have an F string. So if you, I think it's Python 3.6 and higher, you can have an F string. If not, you might have to use dot format there. But we'll go, we'll use an F string, and we'll go result, comma, okay. So if we save that and come back over here and we select 2017, you can see that number just popped up. So we toggle it on and off, and we can do the same with claims. Oops, sorry. No, we can't yet. We can do it for each year. So 2018, 2017, it adds it. 2019, it adds it and takes it off. So we've only got it for aggregate premium at this stage. We'll move on to claims next. But you can see what that does and what the decorator does. So this app.callback thing does, what it's effectively doing, it's rerunning the code every time you make a change on the dashboard. So obviously we've got nothing selected. I've made a change, so that app.callback reruns the code so it can update this container here with the correct figure. So we'll move on to the next ones now. So we'll go through these a little bit quicker. So we'll have another app.callback. Again, we're going to have an output. We called this one claim text. So that's that ID again. Children. And then we're going to have our input. And that again is going to be the summary years. So that stays the same, the summary years, because whether we're looking at premium or claims, we still just want to feed the summary years into it. And we want the values from that summary year. So we just put value in there. We write our function, we go update claims text. Again, we just take our summary years into our function, which are coming from the dashboard, which the user selects. We have result, and we can just come up here and just copy this, because all we're going to do is, instead of summing the written premium, all we need to do is sum the claim incurred column in our data. And then again, we can just copy this line here. So what it's returning is just returning the same thing. And then we'll do the last one, and then we'll go back and check it to make sure that it's all working properly. So we have our app.callback, output, we call this one sum insured text of the children, summary years again, value again, def, we got update sum insured text, summary years again, and this time we'll just take these 2 lines of code and instead of claim incurred, we just go sum insured, so we're picking up the sum insured column in the data frame. So now if we just save that, hopefully we've got no errors in there. We come back in here. Looks like we're still running. So we pick 2017. It gives us the aggregate premium, aggregate claims, aggregate sum insured. Same deal if you went 19, or maybe you want 18 and 19. So it's there. So we've got the functionality that the user, so the user obviously selects these and it feeds through our callback function. It outputs a result and it sends that result to these containers in our dashboard, which correspond to these IDs where we've had the sum insured text ID, claim text ID, premium text ID, which were, again, I already mentioned this, but which were the IDs we provided up here in the containers when we were doing the layout. So that'll do us for this video. In the next video, we'll come back and we'll write a callback function for our loss ratio graph. And if we have time, we'll go on and do the other couple of graphs as well. And we're getting close to the end. So if you thought this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next one.